And human resources are like natural resources. They're often buried deep. You have to go looking for them. They're not just lying around on the surface. You have to create the circumstances where they show themselves. And you might imagine education would be the way that happens, but too often it's not. Every education system in the world is being reformed at the moment, and it's not enough. What we need, and the word's been used many times during the course of the past few days, is not evolution, but a revolution in education. This has to be transformed into something else. And the reason so many people are opting out of education is because it doesn't feed their spirit. It doesn't feed their energy or their passion. So I think we have to change metaphors. We have to go from what is essentially an industrial model of education, a manufacturing model, which is based on linearity and conformity and batching people. We have to move to a model that is based more on principles of agriculture. We have to recognize that human flourishing is not a mechanical process, it's an organic process. And you cannot predict the outcome of human development. All you can do is, like a farmer, is create the conditions under which they will begin to flourish. So when we look at reforming education and transforming it, it isn't like cloning a system. Now, in this room, there are people who represent extraordinary resources in business, in multimedia, in the internet. These technologies, combined with extraordinary talents of teachers, provide an opportunity to revolutionize education.
One of the important aspects of the learning process that students need to learn is that it's social, it's connected, it's networked. It doesn't send the right message to students if we say, learn in social, connected ways, but I'll teach you in one way. So the importance of teaching together is that it gives students a multidimensional experience of knowledge. It teaches students the importance of being connected and collaborating with others in activities that we're involved in. What's different today, I think, is that the knowledge pieces are fragmenting more rapidly, and there's more fragments than there used to be. So what used to be, let's say, a 200-page textbook might today be a 5-minute video on YouTube or a 10-minute lecture on a different site. So the knowledge pieces are smaller now than they perhaps were in the past. But the interesting thing is, once your knowledge pieces become smaller, there are more configurations available. So if you have 5 pieces of information, you can connect them a certain number of ways. So that's where we need to test the validity of the knowledge coherence that we're making. But all of these, again, are part of this process of being networked and connected, and we form new ideas and we challenge those ideas through those networks. In a classroom, you can have students start playing with video recordings and remixing videos, and you can teach them how to begin to learn or function in a social network that maybe includes students from other cities. Now, none of these things mean you have to change your curriculum yet. These are all systems that allow you to change the teaching and learning process.
Hello, my name is Judy Harris. It's preposterous, isn't it? Design a house around a faucet. But in many ways, we've been asking teachers in many parts of the world to do something similar for about 25 years. We've been asking them to design learning experiences for students around digital tools and resources. Now, as ridiculous as that sounds, in some ways, it's understandable that we've made this mistake and made it for so long. These tools are incredibly powerful. They have enormous potential for helping students to learn even better and teachers to teach even better. But the problem is, when we look to the tools to suggest how we should teach, it's like having a shiny new hammer. Because when you have a shiny new hammer, everything can look like a nail. Another way to say this is that the tail wags the dog. When we look to the technology to suggest how we should teach, how we should help students to learn, we have it backwards.
Creo que ahí la cuestión a pensar y conversar es cómo la escuela fortalece otras políticas de conocimiento, cómo ayuda a que se hagan otras cosas que las que los chicos ya hacen Los chicos usan mucho las netbooks para entretenerse, para comunicarse, navegar con las cosas que les interesan, y eso está muy bien. Me parece que la escuela tiene que ayudar a ampliar sus horizontes con otras búsquedas, entendiendo mejor qué es lo que hay atrás de los buscadores, por ejemplo, qué otro tipo de producciones se pueden hacer. Si yo hago, no sé, un remix, hago un video, bueno, cómo ese video puede dialogar con otras producciones culturales, cómo puede dialogar también con las disciplinas de la escuela, bueno, cómo la historia, la sociología, la economía, la geografía me ayudan a pensar mejor el mundo en el que vivo, o el mundo natural también. Yo puedo tener muchas cosas a mano, pero si no sé que existen, no las busco. Entonces ahí, si nadie me muestra que valen la pena, que me dicen algo para mi vida, no las voy a ir a buscar. Entonces sí creo que en eso el lugar de la escuela sigue siendo el mismo en otras condiciones, que es el de poner a disposición conocimientos, lenguajes, ayudar a enriquecerlos.
Traditionally think about the distinction between formal and informal education, what happens in schools and what happens other places. I think increasingly we need to see these things in a relationship to each other and to rethink school activities in relationship to what's happening in these other environments, and in the other direction, for the schools to bring experiences and learning that takes place in these other environments into the classroom and into the school, especially for high school students and adolescents. The idea of a wheel with spokes, with the school is the hub of the wheel, and the spokes connect that hub to these other learning environments.